to have it.
Welcome everybody to the first video of the new year. Happy 2024 from all of us here at For The Collection. So make sure you're following us here at youtube.com/For The Collection. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to get notifications when we have new videos coming up. It's 2024. Like, what can we say? Usually I'll go through and do something like, my top 5 figures of 2023 or, something like that. But I decided to do something a little bit different this year. There are a lot of great figures that came out this year from like NECA, Mattel, Hasbro, independent companies like Zombie Sailor Toys, whole bunch of stuff. And it's kind of hard to narrow down to 5 to 10 figures for the year when there's so much awesome stuff that came out. Like even Jazzwares with the Supreme CM Punk figure that just came out towards the end of the year, which by far is probably my favorite figure of the year. But so many other people have covered, their top 5 figures, and most of those lists are pretty much similar to mine. So I really wanted to do something a little bit different this time. I basically wanted to break down my top 5 experiences of 2023. Whether it be adding something to my collection, meeting somebody, a Comic-Con, something like that, which generally all those will kind of loop into the same category, which of course rolls back to my collection, because that's what this is. This is for the collection. I don't just collect figures. I collect comic books. I collect a whole bunch of different stuff. You can see behind me, it's not literally just regulated to wrestling. I got some Power Rangers. I got some Marvel over here. You got this side over here, Ninja Turtles. I got Ghostbusters, a whole bunch of different things. But some of the big stuff, a lot of signatures too. Like, I love to meet, people that have done voices or, played some of my favorite characters in movies and things like that. One of the biggest ones that I got to meet this year, let's kick it off. Like, it's beginning the first thing of the year, generally we go to Mad Monster Party, which is here in Concord, North Carolina. I'm in Durham. So we tend to do that every year when we can, if we don't have anything else going on. Last year was a pretty big year for me. Some people may know Shoot Life, Real Life. I almost died. Like, it was rough. I talked about it on our podcast, the WrestleGeddon podcast, after it happened. Kind of went into the details on that. So, you can go back in the archives and listen to that. I really don't want to take away from the big stuff going on that I want to get to, but it all kind of ties into that. It's almost died. I had like a really low B12, very low vitamin D, pretty much to the point where my body wasn't producing blood. And, kind of got that figured out, and, a few days in the hospital, a couple blood transfusions, got all it worked out, got everything taken care of. And this was right before Mad Monster Party, which happens to be just about every year around the time of my birthday. So that's what we do. We go to Mad Monster Party, stuff like that. Robert Englund was there. And if you know me, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. It's one of my favorite horror movies. Matter of fact, it's the only horror movie that has ever scared me, to the point where, I can't sleep at night, or I have like reoccurring nightmares, things like that. So many people are going to be laughing at me. But when you're sleeping, there's 2 places that you're the most vulnerable. When you're sleeping, and as Zombieland taught us, when you're taking a dump. Like, in all honesty, those are the 2 places where you're the most vulnerable. And being, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy comes to you in your dreams, kills you in your sleep, all that fun stuff. Everyone knows the story. But Robert Englund was there. Now, I tried to meet Robert Englund probably 5 years ago, I think it was, for Mad Monster Party, when they had him the first ever time signing in North Carolina. So normally we get weekend passes. We didn't get weekend passes this year because, every time we go, it's like, oh yeah, I can meet. Never had any issues meeting anybody. That year, I got cut off. 2 people in front of me in line. So I didn't get a chance to meet them. So needless to say, I was pretty bummed out. It was rough. because that's the whole purpose I was there for, was Robert Englund. Like, I have this nice, awesome art print, which you'll see one of these sides here, which has, Ash versus Freddy versus Jason. And you see it's an awesome print. I got that the very first Comic-Con I ever went to. And when I moved down here in 2010, that's what we went to, this Comic-Con here, local Comic-Con, NC Comic-Con. It's one of their smaller conventions. They'd only been doing it a few years. And I got this print, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. Because, I love Evil Dead. I like Friday the 13th. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought it was just awesome. So I have that as signed by the artist. So our first Mad Monster Party rolls around. There's Bruce Campbell there and Kane Hodder. I love Kane Hodder as Jason. Obviously, Bruce Campbell. So I get those two to sign it, and I'm not able to get this print signed by Robert Englund. So I go into like hardcore, like, let's check Robert's website, look up, where he's going to be, if it's going to be anywhere close, coming over the next few years. So I was doing that religiously, like every couple months, just checking to see any local appearances. So I just kind of stopped doing it because there was nothing coming. So finally, last year, Mad Monster Party rolls around. Robert Englund's there. I was like, oh, shit, this is the time. But then I'm in hospital. Fortunately, I got released that Friday morning, that Friday afternoon when we were supposed to leave. Mind you, I'm still, like, I feel better, but I'm still not 100%. So it's kind of hard for me to walk without having, to stop and catch my breath. It was a lot better than what it was prior to that. So doing a convention definitely was not recommended by the doctors, but come hell or high water, I got tickets for this. I'm meeting Robert Englund. Nothing's going to fucking stop me from doing this. So excuse the language, but that's pretty much how I felt. And, I was on those doctors every day. Like, I need to be out of here by Friday. Like, if you don't release me, I will release myself because I am going to this convention if it's the last freaking thing I do. Yeah, I know it's more important things like my health and being here for my family and stuff like that, which they are pretty much on tap for releasing me that Friday. So we get there, get to Charlotte, go through all this stuff. I spent my entire Saturday waiting in Robert Englund's line. Got there as soon as the convention floor opened, probably about a half hour before the convention floor opened. First thing I did, beeline to Robert's area. So I'm standing there, and then it gets cut off for the day. So we can go to lunch. It's like, oh, crap, that sucks. I've been waiting in line, been here for like 3 hours. Fortunately, they gave me a ticket to come back, and they put the time on there when they gave me the ticket. So I come back as he's coming back from lunch, but he had to do a panel. I was like, oh, crap, so that's another hour. So, like, I got nothing else to do. Like, I'm here tomorrow, too. I got the rest of today. I'm just going to sit here and wait. So I did. I sat there and waited. And then Robert comes back from doing the panel, comes back from his lunch break. I get in there, I get to talk to him. And that literally was probably like one of the biggest highlights of my 2023 was finally getting this print signed. I don't know what side it's on. So I haven't put it up there yet. It's on the wall. I don't want to take it down and show it to you. So finally got that print signed, and this wave of completion, satisfaction just like washed over me. It's like, I never thought I would get this signed. And I told him the whole story behind all this. And he's like, wow. So that's really, really, really cool story. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great story to go along with this picture. So there it is. Was one of my biggest highlights of 2023 was finally getting to meet, my horror icon, Robert Englund, cosplay Freddy Krueger, and, a whole bunch of other movies and stuff. So, and to have this print signed by the artist, signed by Kane Hodder, signed by Bruce Campbell, signed by Robert Englund. And then everyone always asks me, were you going to get it signed by any of the actors that played Jason, any of the other ones? I was like, nah. I was like, Kane Hodder, I liked him in the movies that he played Jason in. And like, Kane Hodder overall was just like a really cool guy to talk to and meet. And like, I just want to keep it at that because that's who I see as Jason. He's a big dude. He's menacing, things like that. So that was probably one of my biggest things. Same convention, though, Mad Monster Party. Keith David was there. If you're not familiar with Keith David, he was in They Live with Roddy Piper. Also, one of the voices in the Gargoyles series, who's the voice of Goliath. And, of course, Thalog. Done like a whole bunch of other stuff. He's a very recognizable voice. Very nice guy, very chill dude, and very cool to meet. Was kind of kicking it around for a little bit. I was like, I really want to, like, I don't know if I want to meet Keith David. You know, he's really cool and stuff. Like, I love gargoyles. I was like, well, let me walk around the convention a little bit and see, you know, because I don't want to get just an 8x10. Like, I like getting figures signed because it's really cool and they display really nicely. So I happened to come across a couple booths that had the NECA Goliath figure. One guy was charging $50 for it. I was like, yeah, not happening, dude. Like, that thing's like $30 at Target. Like, I'm not even wasting my time with that. I'm not spending $50 to buy a second figure that I already own, just to get it signed. Because I'm gonna end up spending, you know, $30 for Keith David's signature too. 34. I can't remember how much it was, but you know, I'm not spending that on top of, you know, $50 for this figure. You're just trying to take advantage of us. Walk by another booth. This guy has two of them in a box, $25. I was like, that's figure fate right there. Let's get that Goliath. So I saw him, dude was like, yeah, dude down on the corner's got a 50. He's like, that's crazy. I said, yeah, and I saw you guys had it for 25. So we'll get that. I'm gonna take it over to Keith David and get it signed. So I did. I went and got it signed. So he did purple paint pen, which is really cool. Nice, beautiful signature there. And just like really awesome to sit there and talk to him and tell him, like, you know, Gargoyles is one of my favorite cartoons. You know, I've seen every episode multiple times. They Live was one of my favorite movies. You know, I was a big fan of Roddy Piper, and I really love that movie. And just going through all that with him and talking to him and stuff like that. And he was just really cool to talk to, really super nice, really down to earth. So if you get a chance to meet him, definitely do that. Same with Robert Englund. Just be forewarned, if you're going to meet Robert Englund, you know, probably be waiting for a while. He likes to take time with his fans, and Keith David did too. You know, we talked to Keith David for about 10 minutes, so it was pretty awesome. So that's, you know, one of my other things. That, of course, that Mad Monster Party. So much other stuff happened. Mad Monster Party. It's a great convention to go to. I mean, um, lots of cool guests. They had the Steiner brothers there, Ron Simmons, a few other wrestlers. Whole bunch of people. It's hard to remember everyone that was there, but it's a great convention. If you're a horror fan, it's definitely one worth checking out. So we go from that and we go further into the year. Big Time Wrestling rolls around. This is after I think this is after Ric Flair's final match gets announced, everything. We're going through all that. So Big Time Wrestling comes through North Carolina, the Dorton Arena, famous Dorton Arena here in Raleigh. And they're announcing, you know, the return of the Dragon. So Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, one last match in North Carolina in the Dorton Arena. Last match ever, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It's like, all right, cool. Like, we're going. So me and Garrett and Carl, the podcast, we go to see Steamboat's last match. We're all big Steamboat fans. I mean, Steamboat versus Savage, WrestleMania 3 is like the precedent for me for, you know, just a great wrestling match. And what I pretty much just put all the other matches comparison to is that Savage versus Steamboat. And, you know, it's kind of hard to do that now because styles change and everything. But I mean, the basic fundamentals are there as far as the storytelling and the match aspects and stuff like that. But I go and, you know, I get to meet Steamboat, and I happen to find beforehand the Elite 93 Chase Steamboat with the yellow tights. So I go there, meet Steamboat, get to talk to him for a little bit, and then get his figure signed. Really awesome talking to him, and then getting to see him wrestle, you know, one final time in the Dorton Arena, which I'm not a North Carolina native, but I know, you know, the history of the Dorton Arena as far as wrestling goes. So many great matches there. And it was just one of those awesome things to be able to see someone who made their name coming up and, you know, wrestling in that arena. And to meet Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was just phenomenal. Super nice guy. Such a great guy. Definitely, if you get a chance to meet him, he's on the list too. So we go through all that, and then, you know, that comes up, and then what was next after that? GalaxyCon. GalaxyCon's coming. So I have this Jack's Classic Superstars 3-pack, and that is signed. It's Jimmy Hart, Bruce the Barber Beefcake, and Hulk Hogan. Another one of these, I need one last signature to get this sign type thing. I got Jimmy Hart's signature, got Hulk Hogan's signature. That, of course, was Mad Monster Party. That was WrestleMania 30. That was actually that Saturday before WrestleMania 30. Hogan and Jimmy Hart were there. Roddy Piper was there. I actually got to meet Piper too, which was really cool. So I get this sign. And then, like, all right, I still need Beefcake signature. So he wasn't doing a whole lot of signings at the time. And all of a sudden, like, with the resurgence of the Mattel Legends, Beefcake getting, new figures and stuff like that. So he starts doing signings again. So I'm checking his website, following him on social media, like, where's he going to be at? He's going to wear clothes, blah, blah, blah. Does a couple mail-ins. Like, I really don't want to risk sending this in the mail to, get signed and everything like that. Like, I don't need any more. I don't need this to get destroyed in the mail. And plus, I don't want to pay shipping on the size of this box. So GalaxyCon rolls around, and then they announce Beefcake. I was like, yeah, I got to go. Like, we have to go to GalaxyCon. I mean, we're going anyway, because we always go to GalaxyCon. But Beefcake's there. So off from the wall. And then boom, we get that final signature on here with Bruce Barber Beefcake. Tried to match the gold as best he could for the other two that were on here. But I mean, just to get that completed is something I didn't think I would be able to get completed in this lifetime, or at least in Beefcake's lifetime. But it was cool to meet him, talk to him. He told me some cool stories about his grandkids and some of his figures and stuff, and how they got a hold of him one day and just kind of ripped them all open and started playing with them. And he's like, yeah, he's like, it's kind of upset at the time, but he's like, at the same time, they're kids, they're toys. That's what they do. I was like, yeah. I was like, I've had this for quite a while. I got Hogan and Jimmy Hart's signature, about 10 years ago. So it was pretty cool to go through all that. Probably one of the bigger experiences for 2023, Triangle TerrorCon, which is something that myself, my wife, and a friend of ours actually orchestrated, put on, organized, hosted, so to say, which was really cool. It was really cool to be able to say that in 2023, I put on a convention. Like, I started a convention, I hosted a convention, I put this convention on. So it's really cool to say that. Which was cooler is getting able to meet Rachel True from The Craft. She played Rochelle. And then getting to meet Abaddon, which was really cool. So our whole goal was to bring in people that haven't signed in the area that, were kind of niche. Not really niche, but, first time signings, like, to bring people in and things like that. And, there's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement around Rachel True coming in. And then, Abaddon, with her being back on TV now, I'm sure we would have gotten more hype and excitement with her when she was out injured while she was here. But getting to meet them and getting to spend time with them, VIP party the night before, just spending the day with them and talking to them, getting to know them, things like that, which is really cool. And a really cool experience for 2023. And that's something we hope to do again this year. Going into 2024. I don't really have anything handy just to pop up and show, but I do have a picture of the Abaddon, which I'll put up here as well. But a lot of cool stuff in 2023, and kind of hoping going into 2024, we're in 2024, really hoping this continues with, the experiences and things like that. I mean, it's not just for us, like my wife and myself, like our kids have had some really good experiences too. Like, they love My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer. And they're getting into One Piece and being able to, for them to meet the voice actors, the American voice actors, because they watch it dubbed. Getting to meet those voice actors, especially for like Tanjiro and Nezuko, and the voice actors from My Hero Academia, means a lot to them. Because this is stuff that they watch on a daily basis, that they're, that they love, that they're obsessed with, so to say. Kind of like with me and wrestling and Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, and things like that. And then for them getting to be able to the voices or the faces behind the voice of these characters and getting to talk to them, it's just a whole other experience for them. And what's really cool is my daughter did this awesome drawing of for My Hero Academia. She did all the characters from Class 1A, and her goal is to get it signed by all the voice actors. So, I mean, she's already got 4 or 5 on there from this past GalaxyCon. So she's very excited about that. And it's just a lot of cool stuff. Just a lot of experiences. You can I can add more and more figures to my collection on a daily basis. But what's the experience behind that figure? What's the story behind it, getting that figure? Whereas, I can take, I can pick up this Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and, and get it signed by him and talk to him and be like, oh yeah, I met Steamboat and, we talked about this, we talked about that. I got this figure signed, which is really cool. And just having that, being able to have that experience and that story behind that figure and, that signature and things like that is the best part of it for me. So, but that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Like, I kind of hope this was a fun video. Like I said, I just want to do something different. Just wanted to break down like my top 5 experiences for 2023 instead of, like my top 5 figures, top 10 figures, whatever, what have you. There's enough of those lists out there. And I don't think we get enough of the stories behind like some of the pieces in our collection and, what we did to get those or how long we waited to get the signature or things like that. And I think that's the fun part is the experience and the story that goes along with that. So, but yeah, awesome. Thank you guys for checking me out. Of course, my name is Chris the Heat Matthews, one of your 3 hosts for the WrestleGeddon podcast, which new episodes drop every Saturday. Sorry, my bad. Every Saturday. We just did our WrestleGeddon Podcast Awards, which you guys can check that out. And that is up on all your major podcast streams now. Find out who we thought, in our opinions, who were the best, the worst of 2023, who's our breakout stars of 2023, all that fun stuff, any predictions we have for 2024. Like I said, new episodes every Saturday. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. There's a Linktree link in the bio or in the episode description here. Just go ahead and click on that and it'll take you to wherever you need to go. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Hit that alert down there in the corner too. Just stay up to date, get notifications when a new video pops up on there. So 2024, hopefully I'll do some more videos and get some more stuff out there. So again, thank you guys for checking this out and we'll talk to you later. Happy New Year.
Have it.